Welcome back to the Writer's Life, the place where you get the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, whatever else you want from my particular writer's life, such as it is. Um, Please smash that like button and subscribe. Hit the notifications bell and you'll know every time one of these little tiny videos pops up. Um, I've been working like a dog all day on my assignments. Yesterday, I made a video about being too good for my own good, and now I think like I perhaps read my editor's message wrong. I think what he meant was get all these assignments in by next weekend. He just forgot to write that word down and sent out the wrong message, really, because I think it would be physically impossible for me to do all that work in a single weekend, and sleep at the same time. So it's even a heavy lift getting all those assignments in by next Friday, if that's what he meant. But anyway, and meanwhile, I have a novel that I'm going over that I have to have into the publisher like a month ago. Anyway, oh, woe was me. But anyway, I got to thinking today, like 30 years ago today, I think I left the Bread Loaf Writers Conference and had to come back to Albany for a best friend's wedding. I had to leave like a day early, but and that also happens to coincide with my first year being a professional writer. I was in my mid-20s, and I can't believe how much time has passed and how many things have changed. But it was a time when like I was working for the newspaper as a stringer and a freelancer, and I published my first short story in a really good magazine, and I was doing all sorts of things like that, and it was really an exciting time. Like every little small newspaper piece was just like it was just such a thrill. Still is, but I'm talking like back then. Like I was still writing stories on an electric typewriter. You sent stuff out snail mail. There was no internet. Certainly no digital currencies. There was, it was just it was a really cool time. And I remember driving my Jeep out to Vermont, Breadloaf, Vermont, which is actually in Middlebury, Vermont. It was really quite the experience. I worked with Tim O'Brien, and I remember and even Tim O'Brien back then was like maybe like 44. He was in his early 40s anyway, because to be honest, the Vietnam War wasn't that long off. And I remember one of the first things he said to me. We were all like getting loaded, like outside the big communal barn and stuff. And he walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, you got any coke on you?" I don't know. I guess I just must have given off that vibe even back then. I don't know what it is, but the criminal vibe. Let's see. John Irving was there at the time. Larry Brown. It was just it was a really cool time, and I made some great friends who are still friends to this day. And then 3 years later or 4 years later, I went on to writing school, and that was another great experience. The only thing that's changed in 30 years is the technology. I mean, it's still the same for me. I still get thrilled with every story. I still love writing as much as I did back then, even though I'm middle-aged now. It's just I still feel like every day is like, oh, well, this, I got a long way to go, and, so many things have happened. I've hit all the bestseller lists, or a lot of them anyway, and had a bunch of number ones, and won a bunch of awards, and, had a bunch of movie interests, TV interests, stuff like that. Nothing produced, though, sadly, but that'll come. Anyway, it's been a wonderful 30 years, and anybody who buys my books and stories, thank you very much. And anybody who's just a fan and a friend, thank you very much. All right, that's all I got to say today, because I still got work to do, and it's just a working weekend. Hope you're having a great weekend, and if I don't talk to you tomorrow, I'll talk to you Monday. All right, ciao, ciao.